Babu's Game Room.
Alright guys, I'm going back into the Safari Zone for like, I don't know, time number 10. I'm about to go under 30,000 Poké Dollars, which is a little bit sad, but not a big deal. Okay, so I think I've got that route down that I will take to get to the Tauros area more quickly. I think I've got that down. So last time I was talking about respect. Respect in Canada, by default, everyone needs to give everyone respect. And, you know, there are some relationships where there needs to be a little bit more respect than you would give to the average person. Like, you know, you should respect your friends' wishes, your partner's wishes, your family's wishes, you know, over strangers in a lot of scenarios. And within those relationships, if there's some sort of power dynamic, then the one with less power often needs to give a little bit more respect to the one with more power, like an employee to an employer, a child to a parent, a student to a teacher. But nonetheless, the person with more power still needs to give respect to the powerless one. Does that make sense? The powerless one? No, this is the wrong way. Okay. So I've almost got the path memorized. But yeah, that's the default in Canada. And I'm sure it's probably the same, or at least very, very similar in America too. Everyone gives everyone respect. And that's just the default, that's just the expectation. And if somebody doesn't give someone respect, like if a parent doesn't respect, say, a teenage child, then the parent might be seen as being the one that's in the wrong. Depending on the situation, of course. I guess somewhere where respect kind of gets a little bit muddled about what it is when there's an employer and an employee, and then the employer might say, hey, if you don't give me respect, I'm not going to give you respect. And there might be different definitions of respect there, whereas the employer or, say, manager or whatever thinks that respect should be, you have to listen to what I say because I'm the boss. And the kind of respect that the employer is going to give to the employee is, I'm going to treat you like a human being. And it's like, if you don't do what I say, I don't treat you like a human being. And that's not respect in the normal sense. But I think, treating someone like a normal human being, when we think of respect, that's what it means. But in Korea, aside from that basic level of respect, don't hurt people or this or that, the basic universal standards. Aside from those, respect is age-based and very, very important in Korea. One of the most common questions that people ask is, how old are you? And the answer to that question will help them figure out how much respect that they need to give you. And it doesn't mean that they're going to treat you like you're not a human being or anything, or they're going to be rude to you if you're younger than them. But if you're speaking in Korean with them, if you're younger, then they will probably use a more casual tone when talking with you. But if you're a year older, even 1 year older, then it might be more of a respectful grammar. Different level of respect in the grammar levels. I don't know how to explain it in English, but basically, you know how we change verbs based off of I run, you run, she runs? We add the little s there to most verbs whenever it's third person. In Korean, they don't do that. It doesn't change with like I am, you are, he is. Those are all the same. It uses the same one. But the ending of the verb will change based off of the respect level. And that is as much as I can tell you because I don't know Korean. Sadly, I don't speak Korean, even though I've been living here for a while. I mean, I try, but I'm not fluent by any means. And anyways, so older people, even if it's just a year older or even months, depending on when someone was born, you get the higher level, the higher respect level in language. If you're younger, you get the more casual and therefore I guess less respectful, but not disrespectful. It's just less. I'm sure you understand what I mean. But in groups of friends or whatnot, if someone is a little bit older, then their wishes hold a little bit more value. And of course, again, I'm doing a 2+1 because Tauros doesn't like me. Okay, actually, I still have 30,000. Next time, it'll bring me under 30,000 Poké Dollars. So anyways, and again, I'm just a foreigner here in Korea. Take my opinions and my observations with a grain of salt. I'm living here. I've been, reading about things and visiting different Korean subreddits and whatnot. And this is all coming from people who speak English. I haven't, had any conversations, of course, with anybody who is monolingual Korean who, might have a little bit more insight as to how things work over here. So forgive me if anything that I say is ignorant or wrong. I'm just doing my best based off of my observations. So one thing that I've noticed is that older people, especially seniors, they really expect a lot of respect. And we have the saying in English, respect your elders. And I can totally get behind that. You know, older people, especially as they really get up there in age, you know, your body doesn't work the same. Sometimes your mind doesn't work the same. You don't have the same, say, focus that you might have had when you were younger. But that's probably when you get much older up there in age. But your vision doesn't work as well. Your hearing doesn't work as well. It's harder to walk as quickly as a young person. So, you know, respect your elder depending on where you live. And that's even going to vary a lot within Canada, within the United States, on like a state-by-state basis, for example. You know, what does it mean? Maybe let a senior citizen go in front of you in line in the grocery store, or maybe there are mandated things like here, this is a specific section where senior citizens can sit on the bus, or, you know, give up your seat to somebody who's older, or, you know, different things like that. Respect your elders, and we have an idea of what that is. Make space if like an older person is coming through because they can't, you know, readjust their path and walk around you quite so easily. Maybe, you know, of course, depending on their age. But the only group of people who I guess have ever had any sort of problem with me or have even like bothered me at all, aside from like, you know, bullies, student bullying, other students, like that bothers me obviously, but aside from those is older women in Korea. And I mean like senior citizens, like clearly retiree women in Korea. And definitely not everyone, by far, not everyone. The vast majority of older women, retirement age, etc., are, you know, very lovely, very kind, and pretty similar to the stereotypes that you would imagine with, you know, a granny in the West. So with that out of the way, on public transportation, which in the capital is free for all senior citizens, which means that there are a lot of them on the trains, especially because they're heated in the winter and air conditioned in the summer. Okay, here comes my +1 for my 2+1 episode today. Finally under 30,000 polka dollars. My money is going down, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So far, this Tauros is just eluding me so much. So, a lot of older people on the public transportation and on the trains. I try to be a mindful person. You know, I'm Canadian. We have that stereotype. Someone bumps into me and I say sorry. Like, you know, sorry for getting in your way. I didn't know this, you were passing through this way. It's just what Canadians do. Just what we do. And I try to be mindful of the space that I'm taking up wherever I am. If I'm on the train, I have a backpack. I'm holding the backpack in my hand, and if it's at all crowded, even the slightest bit, it's probably going down between my feet. So it's like, it's not even in anyone's way at all. I try to stand away from the doors, you know, so that people can come in and out. And sometimes there'll be free seats and I'll stand because I don't need to sit all the time. So I'm just trying to paint the picture that I try to be mindful of these kinds of things when I'm in a public area or in public transportation especially. But the only people in the country and probably in Canada too who have ever pushed me is old ladies. And, you know, first few times it happened, I'm like, oh crap, I must have been blocking her way or something. And then I kind of look around and then I see there's a wide area for, you know, people to walk around me. I'm not taking up that much space. If I were to move any more to the side, then I'd be like in someone's personal space very clearly, or like stepping on their feet quite literally. And these old women would be walking down the train because like all the cars are connected. I don't know if they're looking for a seat or trying to find the fastest door to get to their exit in the subway station. I don't know, but they'll just be walking down the way and then they'll push me like quick, like not bump into me, but like quite clearly push me. And sometimes it seems like they have to go out of their way to push me because I'm off to the side and there's nobody to the opposite side of me. They go out of their way, it seems. They go out of their way and they push me just because they want to shove me a little bit. You know, sometimes it's actually been like a decent shove where it's like, hey, get out of the way. I got to go to the washroom, like I'm going to shove you because you're standing in the way and being rude. But it's only ever been old ladies. It's only ever been in Korea, and it's only ever been when there's like clearly enough space to walk down the train. And I don't know why it is. And there's from some older women, it's just an attitude that you see where it's, you know, get out of my way. You have to give me like utmost respect and like do everything that I want, and I don't care about what you think. I remember one time when I was, I'm out of time here. Okay, I guess I'm going to do a 3+1 this time. 3+1. Not very common in Korea. You see 1+1, 2+1. 3+1 is very rare, but I don't even think I even saw a Tauros in that last run. So I'll continue my story here. So one time I was getting off of the train, and, you know, sometimes people will be absent-mindedly like blocking the door because they really want to get on or they don't expect anybody to get off. But in Korea, there is like a dedicated, like there are lanes for exiting and entering the public transportation. Oh, threw another ball. Okay, come on. No. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Okay. So there are dedicated lanes. It's like this is where you stand. If you are waiting to get on, you stand off to the side. And then if you are getting off the train, then you stand in the middle. Stand in the middle of the doors so that you can go off and you will go through the parted Red Sea of people who are standing off to the side waiting to get on. It works perfectly when everybody follows it. And usually, like 99% of the time, if not more, that's how it is. Nobody's in your way when you're getting off. And if you're getting on, you're not blocking anyone because you're off to the side, and then after everyone's finished getting off, then you get on. It's perfect. Saw a wall of older women one time when I was trying to get off, and at the time I was on my way to the hospital, so I was like, I have an appointment, and then I have to go to work that day and everything. It was, I just, not shoved, but like I walked through the wall of them, and they looked kind of indignant, but they had a literal wall. They were blocking the exit to the train. And it wasn't tourists, it was Korean people. And I don't know if they wanted to get on before, whoever was on there was getting off. And this was a small city train, not like the big, huge, long ones where, you got to walk down the whole way. This is the short one with, only a few different cars and not too many doors to get on or off, and where it doesn't stop for very long. It's there for like 5 seconds or something. I don't know. Oh, not another safari ball. But, I mean, maybe what I was supposed to do, following Korean etiquette, is to allow them to, I guess, quote-unquote, break those rules and let them go on first, even though passengers are supposed to disembark first because they're older than me. Maybe that's what I was, if I was Korean, I would be expected to do, or what I was supposed to do as someone who's living here. I don't know. I know that I'm not the only person who has, experienced this kind of behavior. And it's really shocking to me. I mean, old age isn't great, and like, maybe these people haven't had the best experiences. Korea's got a rough history. I don't want to judge people for like who they are, especially because I'm a foreigner. It just goes against like my own personal beliefs on what respect and like ethics are. So that's just a really interesting cultural difference. Whereas this is my opinion, this is like my feelings on that incident. Whereas, they probably went and like told their friends or their families. They're like, oh, I saw this really rude foreigner on the train. Like I needed to get on, or we needed to get on. There's a whole bunch of them. We needed to get on and he needed to get off, but like he just like pushed his way through us. And how rude. And he should have seen that we're older than him quite obviously, and then he should have let us on first. That's just how it is. Like different countries, different parts of the world have their different standards and their different ideas of what it means to be respectful. And I just noticed that Tauros, you can see his 3 tails. I thought that was just kind of like one tail, like those two black ones on the left there. I thought those were like all part of one tail, and that white part was like a streak. No, that's one of his 3 tails. Okay, I lost 2 Tauroses here, and I'm out of time now? Yeah, I'm out of time. Okay, Tauros is now my new least favorite Pokemon. All right. Well, I will say goodbye again. Maybe do another 2+1 next time. I really hope I catch a Tauros. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to me talk about Korea. I will see you next time. Have an awesome day and an awesome week. Goodbye for now.